Welcome to the fifth tutorial. Today we'll make Katta dividers. So they are very useful to obviously separate your resources in boxes, like these for example, or these. But you can also make little chests with drawers. So these are also dividers, basically, placed in the box. Alright, so to get the measurements of your paper, it looks really scary like that, but it's actually not that bad. So I wrote it all down. So we'll need several measurements. So A will be the height of the box, B will be the length of your box, C will be the width of your box, N will be the size of the compartments, like for example these, like how wide are these dividers. TH will be the thickness of your paper, and X will be the number of dividers. So for example here you have 4 compartments but only 3 dividers. Sorry, here, there. So to know the width of your paper, you'll need to do 2 times A. So we said A was the height of the box, there and there, plus C, which is the width of the box, here. Okay? And the length of the paper, so here, this measurement here, will be 2 times the height of the box, A, times X, which is the number of dividers. So for example here it's 3, plus B, which is the length of your box, minus 6 times the thickness of your paper times the amount of dividers you have. So to do that, it's very simple. It looks scary, but it's very, very simple. You take the paper you will want to use, like for example I have this little scrap of paper. I just fold it 1, 2, and 3 times, and then I take that measurement, and that will be it looks like 1.5 millimeter or something. So that's the measurement for 6 times the thickness of your paper. Okay, so I will want to make a divider for this box to separate these 3 different tokens into 3 different compartments. So I'll make the measurements and I will come back to you. Alright, so I made the measurements. So what I did was just translate these letters into the numbers. So my box will need to be 1.8 times 11.5 times 5 centimeters, okay? These are the measurements I chose based on this box, because this is 11.5, this is 5, and the height is actually 2, but I don't want my divider to be too high. That's why I chose 1.8, okay? I will need 2 dividers because I have 3 kind of resources, and that's what I wrote there. So 2 times A, so A we said was the height, so 1.8, plus 5, which is the width here. You can see it here, yeah? And that's 8.6 centimeters. So this side of the paper, the width of the paper here will be 8.6, okay? And for the length, so we translate what we wrote there again, 2 times the height, so 1.8, times the amount of dividers I have, so that's 2, plus the length, B, remember, it's the length, minus 6 times the thickness times the number of dividers. So as I showed you, I think that when I fold my paper 3 times, it looks like 1.5 millimeter-ish. That's why I wrote 0.15, that's 6 times the thickness, times the amount of dividers, okay, 2. And that's 18.4, that's this measurement here, okay? What we'll do is, well, obviously we get the paper at the right measurements, and to find the size of the compartments, you get to choose based on the amount of space you'll have left, which means 11.5 minus the thickness there, which is 0.15 times 2, okay? So I'll get to work with not much, but it's okay. Because basically you will be folding a lot, and that thickness will take too much space in the box. So if you count exactly the size of your box for these compartments, all the end measurements there, then the divider will be too big and won't fit in that. So you always need to remove the thickness of the paper. And when you have written, so this is the height, and we said the length of the paper, and your measurements for the compartments, sorry, the ends there, that's what we said before. You also have to write the height of your dividers twice, because the paper goes like that. You have the divider there, no, sorry, the compartment, then the divider goes up, down, then you have the next divider, then it goes up and down, and so on. That's why you always need twice the measurement here. I think you can see pretty well with this one, it's good. And when all these measurements are written on your paper, we'll need to cut on these lines. Here, okay? Where there's the double height of the divider. Oh, this is my strip of paper, and now we're just gonna write down all the measurements on the paper. So don't worry too much if you write too much, because this side of the paper will never be face up. You're never gonna see it. So if you have lots of markings, it does not matter. So first we're gonna do the horizontal part. So we're gonna do the height and the height, which is for me 1.8, okay? So that's your height, okay? Now we're gonna do, okay, we're gonna decide the size of our compartment. So as I said, my box is 11.5, so I just do 11.5 minus, well, I mean, it's 11.2, but I'm showing you how I do it, so it's more explanatory. All right, it is 11.2. So I have to work with this surface. So I'd like them to be roughly the same size, so I'll just divide by 3. So I'll make like 3.7 for that compartment, 3.7 for that compartment, and we'll see what's left with this one, but it should be quite close. So I'm gonna mark 3.7 here. And I'm gonna do the same here, because that's what I said, I want something quite even. But obviously you can choose, like you could very well say that's 4, that's, I don't know, 7, and that's 1 or something like that. And now we're gonna mark down the height of our divider twice. So here, sorry, it's off screen. Here, 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 and here, okay? So the height of my divider is 1.8. So normally I shouldn't need to measure that because I said they should be all the same. Yeah, this one is like 3.8-ish, 85. All right, so this is compartment 1. So we're going to call it N1, for example. This is the height again, compartment 2, the height, and compartment 3. Okay, so now we just mark the folds on every single line we've traced. Alright, and as I said, like you see my red lines here, we're gonna cut on the fold here. So you can fold the paper here and you have the height on both sides, and take your scissors and cut just on the line here. You can technically make it a bit open like that if your paper is too thick. Well, this one is super thin actually, but if you're using thick paper, as I usually do, it will make it easier for these strips of paper to go inside the fold. And you do the same on the other divider. Well, here I don't need to make this extra cut there, but it's just to show you. Like, keeping it like that would be perfectly fine. It's just a habit. Alright, so that should look like that. Now you just flip your paper. This is the front view. Okay, you can mark the fold here because your divider will be facing upwards, obviously. Alright, and now these two strips and these two strips, you're gonna put them under the little mountain that just formed, okay? Like that. Up. And see, it's already coming to life. It's actually easier with thicker paper somehow. Anyway, and that's your divider. So that should fit. Perfect. Okay. So see, it's a little bit less high because instead of taking a height of 2, I took a height of 1.8. But you can very well take a height of 2, I mean the height of your box. I mean. So now you can put your stuff in. Up. You don't have to. If you don't like that it looks like that, you can actually glue on the inside, but personally don't really bother. And that's your little divider. Still in the collection of Katta dividers. Now we're just gonna make the ones that are like X's, like this, or like this. This one is a perfect square, or that you can also use as box insert. Obviously, the dividers we just made, like for the little pandemic box, you can use them as dividers inside a box to make an insert if you wish. I would recommend thick paper, obviously. So see, this one I just put like different scraps of different papers together, and then I separated the whole thing, so it's not everywhere. So we'll make a very simple square one to show you how to do it. If you wish to make a grid like I made for Stardew, for example, Stardew Valley here, it's basically the same, just that you add basically more rows and columns, like stuff like that, basically. Like for example, that would be a 3 times 3 grid, okay? But we're just gonna make a simple square as an example. I don't have a box, but it's okay. So the paper will, it's very simple. It will need to be the length of one compartment, the height times 2, and the length of the next compartment. And it's the same measurements vertically, like that. So if it's a square, obviously I'm making the same measurement there and there, but I could very well say, I don't know, this is 5 and this is 7 or whatever. So we can say that this is 4, this is 1, why not? 1, 4, this is 4 again, 1, 1, 4. So here, because it's a square, it's basically 8 plus 2h2, so it's 10. I need a paper of 10 by 10, a square. So with my paper, I said 4, 1, 1, 4. Well, because it's a perfect square, I suppose I don't need to make markings. But if it was not a square, then you would have to make a little mark on like 5 and then on 7 or something like that. The height has to be always the same though. You can't say like you have a height of 1 and a height of 2 there. Then the fold would not work. Alright, so I said my height will be 1 centimeter. That will actually make it kind of hard to fold, but that will do, I suppose. I don't know. Alright, I make my measurement of 1 centimeter on both sides. So that's what it looks like. That's exactly what I drew, okay? Like length, height, height, length, length, height, height, length, length, height, height, length, length, height, height, length, okay? So now we're gonna do like the other Katta divider, except that it's an X, a plus. And we're gonna cut here, here, and here on these lines, okay? Well, same as earlier, you can actually open it up a little bit like that if you fear that it will be too hard to slide it in. And now you flip it the other way. I forgot to actually fold. My bad. I got carried away. I marked them, but I didn't fold them. My bad. So now you flip your paper, and just like the other divider, you're gonna take these 2 little strips and put the left one in the left divider and the right one in the right divider. It's a bit tricky, especially when the height is so small like this. It's not impossible. Up, and then when they're in, you just like drag it back down, and see your divider came to life. Up. You can technically make an X divider in a box, so the measurements will be like slightly different. Basically, this line and this line will be the diagonal of your box. So see for this box, for example, if I wanted an X, I would have to take the height here and the length, and the width here. And basically you make that box, and what you do is you cut diagonally like that. Okay, so see, it's completely different because that's a diagonal, so the result is smaller. That's why you need to take a different measurement for this line and this line. And last but not least, we'll make a divider like that, but asymmetric. See, there's a divider there and there's a divider there. So it's not so common. I don't think you will need that too often, but it's still useful to know. So you still need to have a square, so for your paper. So the total of these measurements should be the same, okay? So we're gonna say the height of our paper is 2, why not? 2, 2, 2. Let's say I want a result that is 9 by 9, okay? 9 centimeters and 9 centimeters, okay? So why not I say that this one is like 2 and 7. So here it will be 2 and 7 as well, makes sense. And vertically, we're gonna say that this one is 3 and 6, and here it is, let's say 4.5 and 4.5. Okay, and that's 2 and 2. I'm just gonna cut my paper. 13. I actually need a paper that is 13 by 13. Alright, so I'm gonna trace my measurements. So that's 2, that was the width of this compartment. I'll mark the fold. So I'm perpendicular, I don't need to trace a line. Well, and then I marked 2 centimeters and 2 centimeters, which is the height of my divider here. All right, and now I am gonna mark the boxes, the compartment measurements. So here it's 4.5, we said. You know what, I'll just say 4 and 5 here. All right. extend the height again twice. So you notice that I didn't take the measurement of 7 there, because normally it should automatically be 7, because it's 9 minus 2 here, the 2 that I wrote down already. So it is 7 already. So normally if I put the 2 heights there, it will be 5 automatically. So it is 5. And now we're gonna do 3 centimeters height and 6 centimeters. I mean, you don't need even to write 6. Up. So this is marked, and just start to fold. So normally you don't need to fold any further than the height of divider, because that will be irrelevant. Your divider goes only up to there and up to there. So I'll just fold. Alright, and now, so remember for the square one we cut here, here and here. So what we want to do here is to cut here for the left side, all along that line for the central side mark, and here for the right side. So up. This one probably easier to cut with a cutter. I don't have one on me right now, so that'll do. Up. There we go. So that's what it looks like. You flip it. And normally you just oh sorry what am I doing? You put these 2 strips, the left one inside the left divider and the right one inside the right divider, like that, just like the other one. And as I said, it's not easy with thin paper. There we go. That's what it looks like. And normally it should stay still if it's inside the box. So this is just an example. There's no box, but That's what it looks like. You can make asymmetrical dividers. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you understood it all. Bye!